welcome to the Oak Park Arms. This is a very special day because this marks the start of the 10th anniversary of those thrilling days of yesteryear. And 10 years ago, Ben and Pam had this great idea because Dan Turlow, Pam's father, he used to listen to radio, old-time radio, when he was a kid growing up. And obviously some of his interesting life rubbed off a little on his daughter and her husband. So they began putting on these old-time radio show theaters. And everybody up here, or pretty much everybody up here, is a professional actor or actress. So they actually get paid for doing this. But for us today, they actually do this on a volunteer basis. And to mark their 10th anniversary, they thought it would be cool to do the best shows, the best of shows that they've ever done. So today is the first of that, and this whole year we're going to do best of shows, which I'm especially excited because there's some shows that I never saw. I've only worked here 6 years. So The Wizard of Oz, Miracle on 34th Street, some of the really excellent shows that I've heard so many good things about, they're going to bring back this year. And if that's not enough, they thought it would be a good opportunity to partner with local nonprofits and national nonprofits. And so today, because September 11th is just passed, we thought it would be nice to collect donations for the American Red Cross. And every month we're going to be doing a different nonprofit, all of them local, or most of them local. So this, the funds collected will actually be for the local Red Cross. And just 2 days ago, 23 families, the American Red Cross helped, who all had fires, and that was somewhere in Chicago. So it's this money does go to help our local neighbors and friends and families. So at the end of the program, we will have the can out. We thought instead of passing the can during the show, we will have it available. So if you could reach in your pockets and find even a quarter or two to drop in the can, we will collect all the funds and then give them to the American Red Cross. Okay? So thank you and welcome to the 10th season of those thrilling days of yesteryear.
Thank you, everybody. Welcome once again, as Jill said, to another thrilling episode of those thrilling days of yesteryear. And as she explained, we are launching into our 10th season. We've been doing this now for 9 years ago. Actually, I think this month, or maybe I think it was in August, we did our first show here. Not sure if this was going to take off, but 9 years later, going into our 10th year, we're running happy and fun, and we've been doing tons of shows here. And if you want to be curious about the past shows we've done and get a little taste of what's to come, you can check out our website at TTDY Radio. That's TTDY, which stands for Those Thrilling Days of Yesteryear. So we've got a lot of fantastic shows lined up once a month for the rest of this year and into next year. 10 shows for their 10th season, all the best of that you've missed. As Jill said, some of those great shows from many years ago, including some more recent hits and discoveries with Jack Benny, movie things, It's a Wonderful Life, Miracle on 34th Street. Next month we're going to be doing an incredible rendition of Dracula that you will not want to miss. And tonight we kick off with one of our successful collections of suspense that we've ever had throughout our run. We've done several Suspense episodes throughout, and for anybody who knows, Suspense was one of the longest running radio series, especially in the mystery and scary drama category. It ran for many, many years and had many spin-offs and takeoffs and people trying to imitate, but no one could quite do it the way that Suspense did. There was always some sort of twist at the ending of each suspense gripping story that created quite a relief. Our first show originally aired back in July 19th, 1955, and it is The Backseat Driver. And actually Suspense did 2 different airings of this, once with Fibber McGee and Molly, and then another one a few years later with a completely different cast whom you will see tonight. Our second show, because we've done it for Rudy and Molly here. Our next show then is On a Country Road, which aired back in November of 1950. And that is still to this day one of the most chilling episodes that I've ever listened to. I had the delightful pleasure of playing it for my wife while driving on an actual country road in the middle of nowhere, Indiana. And we're still married. We did both of these shows back in August of 2005, and it was such a great success that we knew that this was one of the first shows that we would put into our season. So welcome once again to our season. As we are performing and doing our show with great sound effects, music, and actors doing their thing to recreate exactly how it was as close as possible, word for word, you might want to pretend that you were one of the lucky few that sat in the audience and watched their favorite actors do their thing at the live studio audience. Or perhaps just imagine that you are sitting in front of the old family radio. Close your eyes, turn out the lights, and listen for the next show to begin with Suspense.
And now, tonight's presentation of radio's outstanding theater of thrills, Suspense. Tonight, the story of two people and the terror that rode with them in the city. We call it Backseat Driver. So now, starring Miss Vivi Janice and Mr. Carly Bear, here's tonight's Suspense play, Backseat Driver.
It can't happen to you. You read about stuff like that in the papers. Girls mutilated and murdered. Drunks left dying in the gutter for the handful of change they had in their pockets. Lonesome old men tortured because some hoodlum gets the idea that they're misers with a pot of gold hidden under the floorboards of the shack. Sure, you know it's real, but it can't happen to you. Oh, you get your fair share of trouble. I've been a professional man here in Los Angeles for 20 years. I've met up with bums, grifters, petty sharpers. They're around in any business. But the viciousness, the real deep-down dirt, that's for somebody else. You do your work and you go home to your family. And for a real bang-up evening, to break up the monotony, you take your wife out to a movie. That's what I did. That Saturday night. We'd driven all the way in from the San Fernando Valley to Beverly Hills for a picture that Ellie especially wanted to see.
Wasn't that a good movie, Joe?
Uh-huh.
Just the kind I like. Songs and dancing, girls in pretty clothes. I get so tired of cops and robbers.
What's wrong with cops and robbers?
Oh, you know what I mean. Murder movies. Honestly, all the policemen stupid and all the crooks sneering out of the corners of their mouths.
Yeah, the stuff those Hollywood boys dream up. You'd think the streets were knee-deep in blood and you couldn't hear yourself think from machine guns.
Yeah.
Well, here we are, honey.
You get in first, honey.
All right. I don't think your door's closed tight now.
Oh. Don't forget the gas.
Oh, I got plenty to take us out to the valley. I'll fill up at Bill's.
You remember how that song goes, Joe?
What song?
In the picture, you know, To a Moon, the one the boy sang to the girl.
Oh, that one. Let me see. Nah, I don't know.
Oh, well. We'll hear it again on the radio.
Well, how about turning it on? Send her to KMX. We ought to get some news in a few minutes. I'd like to hear whether they caught that fellow.
That murderer?
Mm-hmm. They spotted him in L.A. this afternoon, but he got away.
I know, you told us at supper. It makes you shiver.
Don't worry, he won't get any way with it. We left the lights of Beverly Hills behind and turned into Coldwater Canyon. It's as quick a way as any to get us across the Hollywood Hills to the valley. It's dark in the canyon, quiet, with mighty little traffic at night. I flipped my lights up full and we we swept out the side of the ridge. The news program came on, but I didn't pay much attention. The fellow talking about brush fires. They'd already put out one near my place, though they were still patrolling. We were over the ridge and sliding down to the valley before the program got to the part I wanted to hear.
And now, the latest news on the New Hampshire murder.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, put it up higher,
2
Ellie.
weeks ago, Louis Matrick wiped out an entire family in Greenleaf, New Hampshire. Today, he was spotted 3,000 miles from the scene of the crime. At 5:30 this afternoon, a patrolman saw and definitely identified Matrick in downtown Los Angeles. However, while darting through heavy traffic at the risk of his life, the killer was again available to make his escape. According to neighbors of the slaughtered family, Matrick first appeared in Greenleaf about 4 years ago. From fingerprints in the Nolan home, Louis Matrick is identified as Lloyd Matthews, ex-convict. He is wanted for questioning in the robbery and murder of a New York storekeeper a year ago, a crime that netted the killer less than $20. Matrick, or Matthews, is 32 years old, height 5 feet 9 inches, weight 155 pounds. He has blue eyes, light brown hair, nose slanted to the left. When seen this afternoon, he was wearing a blue suit and a gray pork pie hat.
Awful. Just awful.
Not pretty, no.
Somewhere around LA this minute, Joe?
Hmm?
You think it's right leaving Annie and Bud all alone while...
No, Ellen. Annie's grown up. And Bud can take care of himself. You can't wrap kids in cotton wool.
I know. Oh, I'm silly, I guess. Neighbors close all around. All they'd have to do was yell. Joe, what would make a young man do a dreadful thing like that?
It could be a lot of things. Maybe he's got a screws. Maybe he went nuts over a girl. Maybe he gets a kick out of killing like some of them do.
You know all the answers, don't you?
Joe!
Hey, what the?
Keep going. Keep on going. I got a gun, Joe, and I'll use it. Now, just keep going like this, and no tricks. Otherwise, I'm going to blow a hole right through your wife's head. I've had experience in these things.
You are listening to Backseat Driver, tonight's presentation in radio's outstanding theater of thrills, Suspense.
Hello, this is Marvin Miller speaking. We'll return to our program in a moment, but first here's an important message. Someone once remarked that the government of the United States is sort of like an umpire in a baseball game, assuring fair and equal treatment to all the participants, and seeing that everybody plays according to the rule book. That rule book, in the case of our government, is the Constitution. It sets up the regulations under which we play the game, the way we live. For over 160 years, it has endured as the fundamental law of the land. Occasionally, it has been amended, just as rules are occasionally changed in a ball game. But the changes have been for the benefit of everybody. The rights it guarantees are the rights men have sought for centuries and still seek today. In adhering to the Constitution, the American citizen recognizes his two responsibilities. First, to know what his rights are, and second, to defend those rights.
Thursday nights, hang onto your chair and bring in the whole family to keep you company because you'll want some people near you when the Whistler comes around. You'll hear his mysterious whistle open the door to another mystery on most of these same CBS radio stations.
And now, we bring back to our Hollywood soundstage, Miss Vivi Janice and Mr. Parley Bear, starring in tonight's production, Backseat Driver, a tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
I drove that car like we were skirting the rim of the Grand Canyon with nothing between us and the bottom but a mile of country air. This was it. This thing that happens to other people. To the ones that end up on slabs in the morgue. But not to me. Not to Ellie. First car we passed, we let the traffic swoop down behind us. Passed, but not before the headlights gate, caught our passenger clean in my rearview mirror. He was hunched forward, sitting on the edge of the back seat, so he could keep the gun rammed in the nape of Ellie's neck. He had light brown hair, pale eyes, and a nose that slanted. His mouth twitched, jittery. As the car went by, his eyes caught mine in the mirror and flickered.
Keep your eyes on the road.
Sure.
Right,
Lose
boy.
your hat?
Right, boy. Like I said, you know all the answers. No, I didn't lose it. I stuffed it down the drain.
Still wearing the blue suit, though.
I figured it'd change pretty quick now. Think yours will fit me?
You can have the suit. And the car, just
And
let's...
then
Shut up. Let's see if you can both be bright enough to keep your tracks shut. Turn left on Ventura. Take the slow lane. And don't try playing no tricks. I've been here before.
okay by me.
That's real wide-eyed. Straight out to open country, Mac. Then I'll take the missus up on the offer. The suit and the car.
What happens to us?
Why? You just walk home. What else? Play it safe, and you ain't got a thing to worry about.
Nothing to worry about. Once we got out into open country, we'd have a chance of walking away from the car. All a murderer can hope for is time. He doesn't leave witnesses around to get the law on his tail 1 second sooner than necessary. All I could do was stall and pray, and make what feeble gestures I could at Lady Luck. The thing that came into my mind was so risky it brought my hair up on end. But there was a chance, provided that trigger finger didn't start jerking. In the bright lights of the boulevard, I didn't think he'd notice, but a traffic officer would. I turned onto Ventura and took the far lane, obedient as a whipped pup. Must have made 2 or 3 miles before I heard what I was hoping for.
What's that?
Huh? Oh, a siren? An ambulance, I guess. We hear a lot of them.
That ain't no ambulance. It's a motorcycle cop.
Joe, it's young Mike Kennedy. He patrols this stretch.
Look, what are you up to? What are you trying to pull?
Nothing. The kid's a friend of ours.
Think you can get me easy, huh? I warned you, I ain't going alone. You asshole.
Listen, will ya? The kid lives near us. Practically grew up under our feet. All he wants is to pass the time of day or maybe send a message to our Annie.
Yeah?
Yeah. You start popping now and we're all dead. Keep your shirt on and I'll get rid of him.
Okay, but buddy, it better be good.
I pulled over to the curb and Mike came up alongside. He sat balancing the bike between his knees and the grin on his face was a mile wide. It had worked. At least we were still alive, and Mike wasn't 2 feet away. But where do we go from here? I had to think, but my brain was wet wool. My tongue stuck to the roof of my mouth.
Well, good evening, sir. Well, what do you know? If it isn't Uncle Joe.
Something funny, kid?
Oh, after all the times you read us the riot act about observing the letter of the law. Oh, brother, wait till I tell Annie.
Mike Kennedy, what's the matter with you? I didn't notice anything wrong.
Hi, Aunt Ellie. Nothing much the matter. Just Uncle Joe here, proceeding sedately out of the boulevard with his headlights up full.
Headlight? Oh, by golly, that's right. I must have forgotten to dim them.
Yeah, you oughtn't to forget those things, Joe. Someday a big, bad cop might come along and haul you off to the hello.
This is our new neighbor, Mike, Mr. Anderson.
Is that right? Glad to meet you, sir.
Hello.
I didn't know there were any vacancies out our way.
Well, there weren't until recently. Mr. Anderson has taken the Charles place.
The Charles place. Are you kidding?
No. Looks like things got too much for old man Charles. He's clearing out for good.
Kind of sudden, wasn't it?
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, it's too bad. For old man Charles, I mean. Mighty nice for Mr. Anderson, though. Good places are hard to find these days. Well, all right, Uncle Joe, I'll let you off the hook this time. Give my love to Annie.
Mike?
Yes, sir?
What?
Nothing. Come see us soon, boy. Always glad to have you.
Well, thanks. I'll be around my next night off. Got a date with Annie. So long!
That was that. Mike and headed back down the boulevard. The chance had come and gone. But it felt to me like half my mind went off with the boy yelling at him. Must have been a half a minute before I could pull myself together and ease back into traffic. Nobody said anything. I didn't dare to, and neither did Ellie. I couldn't see her, but I could feel her holding herself stiff as a ramrod, scared even to turn her head. When two people live together as long as we have, each one knows what the other's thinking. I went back to driving and praying. That and cutting my eyes up to the mirror, just in case there might be a white motorcycle eye following us. There wasn't, of course. In the back, I knew he was watching too. Those flickering eyes darting like lightning between us and the rear mirror. The way I figured it, we started out with just about enough gas to get us back to Bill's station. When we hit that, the meter ought to show empty. The gas gauge was hidden from me by the rim of the steering wheel, but I was pretty sure I was right. I waited till I saw the red and green lights above Bill's pumps a block and a half away, and then, very slow and easy, I slumped over for a peek at the gauge. I leaned just a little too far.
Sit down.
Oh, sure.
What now? What were you looking at?
I'm just easing the crick out of my neck.
Yes, you was. You were looking at the dash. Oh, so that's it. Fresh out of gas.
Look, I just remembered
Don't
that.
give me that. You knew it all along. From now on, you keep your hands on the wheel, Mac, but leave me do the driving. Turn into that filling station. Get high-test gas and fill her up.
Hey, Joe. Evening, Ellie.
Hi, Bill.
Even Bill?
Oh, evening, sir.
Yeah.
Up to the top?
Yeah, Ethel.
Ethel it is. Hear you've been to the pictures.
Yeah.
Do people know everybody in the whole valley?
We've lived here 20 years, back when this was just farmland. Of course we know a lot of people.
I don't like it. Get the 5 and get out of here.
Make it 5, Bill.
Okay. Say, I was up to Miranda's for supper.
Is that right?
Boy, her chili gets better every time. Don't see how it can, but it does. She's saving some for you, you know. Said you'd be around after that show.
Oh my, I saw Miranda this afternoon and told her we'd be by for sure, Joe.
Well, that'll be $1.50 on the nose.
$1.50. Thanks, Bill.
Well, same to you.
What was that all about? That Miranda stuff?
No, nothing much.
Come on. I gotta ask you everything twice.
Miranda runs a drive-in up the roadways. On show nights, we usually drop in for a carton of chili to take it home.
I just hope she won't call home when we don't show up and get Annie all worried.
Wait a minute. Drive-in, you say?
Yeah.
And this Miranda could start checking her?
I didn't mean it like that. It's just...
She could call your nanny, and between the two of them, they'd have the cops on the lookout for you before midnight?
Oh, you're crazy.
Yeah, like a fox. I ain't kept ahead of the buttons all this time by taking chances. We'll just pick up that chili, Mac.
You want to go to Miranda's?
Why not? Leave Annie get a beauty sleep. I can cover a lot of ground before tomorrow morning. I ain't so good, lady, I could use the food too. And with you and the missus to front for me, what's to worry about?
He was right about that. I went back to driving and praying. Miranda's place was one of those goldfish bowls, mostly glass with light pouring out across the space marked for outside service. She saw us pulling up, grabbed a quart carton off the back shelf, and hustled to the door.
Here we are, Ellie. I was just saying to Betsy, I better fix up that chili, Betsy. It's about time Ellie and Joe are showing up. Well, figuring the distance from Beverly Hills. Oh, who's that in the back seat? Well, I don't seem to recollect your face, young man. Though, everybody tell you I never forget a face.
This is Mr. Anderson, Miranda. He just came out from the east.
That's that. Say, Joe, you planning to go straight up Ventura home?
Yeah, sure.
Well, don't you do it. Go the back way, even if it does take longer. Of course, that brush fire between here and your place is out, but still 50 or 60 men patrolling it.
What's that?
Oh, but that ain't nothing to what's going on further on in the valley. That new fire's clean out of control, looking up hundreds of acres. Oh, they've been sending truckloads of firefighters past here all evening. The road's blocked for miles, they tell me.
The road's blocked?
For miles, they tell tell me. Oh, those poor ranchers losing their homes. Being from East, you wouldn't understand. Brush fires is awful things once they get out of control.
Yeah, thanks. Hey, Joe, I suppose we should start moving, huh? Let's take the back way to your house.
To our house?
What you say? Are you staying with Ellie and Joe?
Yeah, until the road, until I can get in my own place. What are we waiting for, Joe?
Good night. Good night, Miranda.
Good night.
Well, goodbye. Be sure you come and see me, Mr. Anderson. I'll be looking for you.
So there it was. We weren't going to the country. We weren't going to be left to rot at the foot of a cliff or buried deep in brush. No, we were going home. Home to the kids. And taking a murderer with us. I still couldn't see Ellie, but I could feel her tensing up, tight as a pulled drawstring.
Mr. Matrick, you didn't mean what you said, did you, about coming home with us?
You know a better place I could hide out until the road's open?
It wouldn't be safe. We've got neighbors close all around and somebody would see you.
Nobody's gonna see me. Nobody better.
Joe, couldn't we go around the fire?
Yeah, that'd be better. We could try. There are other roads through the valley. Listen, Matrick, we'll nose around and find a way through somehow.
Cut it out! You heard that old biddy. Hundreds of acres burning, firefighters, cops. Get off the highway. We're going home.
No, I won't have it. Joey, stop the car right here.
Shut up!
You heard me, Joe. I won't have him in my house. Not with Annie and Bud.
I said shut up!
Ellie.
Stop it, I tell you. It doesn't matter about us. It's the kids. I won't let him touch them.
One word out of you and I'm gonna...
Joe, stop!
Ellen, shut up.
Joe!
Don't say anything more. I'm sorry, honey, but Matrick's the boss. Gotta do like he says.
Yeah, that's telling her. Sure. Do like I say, and everything's gonna be rosy. You got no call to worry about the kids. I like kids. As long as nobody gives me the brush off. We'll wake them up as soon as we get home, and you and this Annie can cook up a chilly supper for us. We'll have us a picnic. And soon as the fire's out, we'll all take the trip to the country. Another picnic, huh?
It took a long time, but it had to come to an end. I saw the bulk of the house looming up. There was light sneaking around the edges of the blinds up in Annie's rooms. She wasn't sleeping, after all. She'd be sitting up in bed, maybe plastering red stuff on her fingers and dreaming about the date with Mike. Bud's room was dark, neatly wrapped in covers like a cocoon and dreaming. Whatever boys dream, I couldn't remember. I pulled up to the concrete walk that I poured with my own hands before there was any Annie or Bud, and I cut the lights. In a second or two, my eyes got used to the dark. I could make out the high hedge Ellie planted around the place, and our roof rising up beyond it.
Oh, missus, face the house. Now you, man. Slide out the same side. Stand beside me. All right. Walk to the door. Slow. No funny business. I'm right behind you. Look out, Joe!
Down, Ellie!
I'll kill you! Oh, hold it! It's okay, Mike, I got him!
You all right, Uncle Joe? Aunt Ellie?
Ellie, are you all right?
All right, indeed. Smacked flat on my face on a concrete walk and you fallen on me?
Nothing wrong with her.
That's my girl.
Well, don't just stand there. Help me out.
Here, there we are.
Gotta get in before the kids come busting out here. I won't have them mixed up in this.
Well, how's you doing, boys?
Got him through the gun hand and the right shoulder. See?
Lucky shot, cop. If you weren't lucky, you'd be cold meat by now.
Yeah, maybe. Matrick, isn't it, Uncle Joe?
That's him. Miranda described him to you?
Yeah, the old girl doesn't miss a trick. She even knew you were taking the way back home. You left a clear trail, Uncle Joe. Slick work.
Well, I had to get him out of the car before the fireworks started. Ellie didn't stand a chance. She helped, though. Ellie catches on quick.
Yeah, I'll bet.
A mean guy like Matrick, make him think you don't want him to do something, and he'll break his neck doing it. I let on I was trying to run out of gas. That got us to Bill's. Then we both made out there was no sense going to Miranda's, so we got bulled into going to Miranda's. It was 1,000 to 1 that she'd run off at the mouth about the brush fires and scare him into hiding out. Well, after that, all Ellie had to do was turn on the hysterics. He was dead set on coming here.
Yeah, bright boy, like I said.
Bright enough. You did all right too, Mike. I was watching the rearview mirror all the time you were tailing us, but you never showed.
You know I was there, though. When one officer starts double-talking another officer, he wants to know why.
What officer? What double talk? You never said a thing to him except that I bought some place out here.
Yeah, the Charles place.
Yeah, poor old man Charles. In a tough spot and moving out for good.
What's wrong with that?
Magic. Didn't anyone ever tell you it wasn't smart to take up with strangers? Maybe I'd better introduce myself. My name's Charles. Joe Charles. Detective. Homicide. Tonight I was off duty and was just taking my wife to a movie.
Suspense, in which Mr. Parley Bear and Miss Vivi Janice starred in tonight's presentation of Backseat Driver. Next week, the story of twin identities in crime. It is based upon fact. We call it The Greatest Thief in the World. Next week on Suspense. Suspense is produced and directed by Anthony Ellis. Tonight's script was written by Miss Sally Thorson. The music was composed by Rennie Garrigan and conducted by Wilbur Hatch. Featured in the cast were Larry Thor, Tony Barrett, Jack Edwards, Joe Paston, and Helen Cleve. Suspense is another worldwide presentation of the United States Armed Forces radio and television services. Autolite and its 96,000 dealers presents Suspense. Tonight, Autolite brings you On a Country Road, a suspense play starring Mr. Cary Grant.
Relax, David. There's no hurry to get home.
Who can relax in this mess of traffic? Must be a wreck or something up ahead.
This keeps up. We'll get caught in the rain.
Yeah, looks like a big storm building up too. Hey, remember that shortcut?
Which one?
The little tarred road that goes across the center marshes and it comes out on the other highway?
The one we took last summer?
Yes. I'll turn off there and duck this pileup. I'd like to get as far as possible before the storm hits. Why didn't you put out your hand?
Oh, David, don't get mad.
Well, he cut right in front of me trying to turn into that gas station.
Well, maybe he needed gas.
Well, turn on the radio, huh? Oh, there.
This afternoon,
Sounds like
warning
news.
to all residents of Long Island to be on the lookout for Nellie
Turn it up,
Galley,
dear.
a middle-aged woman
All right.
described as dangerous and insane. She escaped this morning from Rescue Mental Hospital after fatally butchering a doctor, a nurse, and a ward attendant with a meat cleaver. This is the same Nellie Galley who, a year ago, murdered 3 persons
Well,
on
at least we're not the
Brooklyn
only
Street.
people on
The
Long
station will
Island.
broadcast a full description of our regular newscast, which follows. A middle-aged woman to repeat, described as a
Wait,
lady
why did you
insane.
change it?
I don't want to listen anymore. Oh, let's get home quickly, David. I don't like being out here with that woman running loose.
Uh-oh. Here comes the storm. Roll up the windows.
In just a moment, Mr. Cary Grant in the first act of On a Country Road.
Amazing, Wilcox, amazing!
What's so amazing, Senator?
Your victory in the election!
My candidate's victory, Senator. The famous Autolite Stay Full battery. The battery that needs water only 3 times a year in normal car use. Why, everybody voted for the Autolite Stay Full battery.
You have plenty in reserve, Wilcox.
Reserve?
Why, Autolite Stay Full Battery has over 3 times the liquid reserve of batteries without Stay Full features.
Didn't you campaign with fiberglass retaining mats?
Sure did, Senator, because every positive plate of the Autolite Stay Full Battery is protected with a fiberglass retaining mat to prevent shedding and flaking and keeps the power-producing materials in place.
Why, your candidate is in for life, Wilcox.
Longer life, Senator, because the Autolite Stay Full Battery gives 70% longer life, as proved by tests conducted according to SAE minimum life cycle standards. So friends, get acquainted with the Autolite Stay Full Battery, the battery that needs water only 3 times a year in normal car use. See your neighborhood Autolite battery dealer now, and remember, you're always right with Autolite.
And now, with On a Country Road and the performance of Mr. Cary Grant, Autolite hopes once again to keep you in suspense.
Oh, why don't they put her to sleep instead of just locking her up where she can escape and kill more people?
And put who to sleep?
The woman they were talking about on the radio.
She can't help what she does. She's sick.
Yes. What good does that do to people who get chopped up with a meat cleaver?
I don't know. The laws were made before the doctors knew very much about the human mind.
They still don't know much.
Oh, I see what it is. There's a roadblock up ahead.
What's happened?
I don't know. Cops all over the road.
David? Oh, but they're looking for that crazy woman.
Oh, I guess so.
Now, hold it a minute.
What's up, officer?
Just to check up, folks. Anything in the back seat?
Only the blanket and the lunchbox.
We went on a picnic.
Yes, ma'am. Seen any hitchhikers?
No, just traffic.
Okay, move right along, please.
Are you looking for the crazy woman?
Move along, let's go.
You hear that?
He's busy.
What are you doing?
Listen.
Residents and motorists of Long Island are warned to be on the alert for the escaped insane woman who is somewhere on the island. She is described as tall, broad-shouldered, gray-haired, and rather heavy. She may still be armed with the cleaver. 100 men are searching the area, and they're prepared to shoot on sight. Here's another bulletin on the case which just came in. Just a few minutes ago, the decapitated bodies of an elderly man and woman were found by police near
Here's the
Central
shortcut.
Marshes on Long Island.
They haven't found
I
her
repeat
yet.
that.
No,
The
this will get us
bodies
out of
of
that
an elderly couple have just been found in their car near Central Marshes on a lonely tar road. Police are certain they were killed by Nellie Geller, the insane woman now at large. Residents of the area are warned not to open their doors to strangers.
They haven't caught her yet.
Caution to stay off the lonely
Well,
road
better turn that off, darling.
But I thought you wanted to hear it.
Persons are
that's
asked to be
enough
on
of
the
it.
long death
All
row
right.
this woman.
All right.
The shortcut will save us a lot of time.
You turned off the highway.
Sure. I told you when I did it. You've come over a mile already. Save us a lot of time.
But David, didn't you hear what the radio said about staying off lonely
We
roads?
only have to go across the other highway. It won't take long.
You sure?
Of course. We go past Center Morages, take the left road, and come out right by the highway bridge.
Center Morages is where she just killed those 2 people.
Now. What can happen to us while we're driving? Besides, the whole island is full of men looking for this lunatic. They'll catch her. It's just the storm. But come on, quiet down, you're jumpy.
All right. I guess I'm just silly. David,
What?
the gas gauge says empty.
Well, there's still a couple of gallons left when it points to empty.
Yeah. How long has it been empty?
I don't know. Well, I'll get gas when we get across to the other highway.
David, I'm scared.
Relax, honey. Rain and wind always make you nervous as a cat.
I wish we just stayed on the highway.
Well, if I'd known you'd act like this, I would have.
Well, it's not my fault.
It's not mine either. I'm having trouble enough just trying to see through this storm.
Oh, David, let's not fight.
Driving through these burned-out woods in this kind of weather, enough to give anyone the willies.
Oh, goodness. It got dark so fast. Can hardly see ahead, even in the headlights.
The something ahead.
Then stop, David.
It's only a sign.
David, that crazy woman could be around here.
I'm not picking up anyone. No, I just want to know where I am.
Don't get out of the car.
I'm not. Calm down. Let's see. Center March is that way. Well, we'll take this road.
Center Norris's. This must be the road where she killed those people.
Darn, please.
Sorry! I'm just jumpy. Turn on the radio. Oh, this place is so desolate. We haven't even passed a house yet. Miles of woods on both sides of us.
No, it's so dark we couldn't have seen one if it were there. This rain seems to be getting worse.
David, I'm just sure this is the road where that woman killed those two people.
Now stop.
That's why the police had a roadblock by this road. That crazy woman might be any place in these woods.
But not necessarily where we are.
Oh, for... David? David, what's the matter?
Oh, well, that's just fine. What a place to run out of gas.
Oh no. David, you mean we're stuck?
I'm afraid so. For the time being, anyway. I'm sorry, dear.
That crazy woman is in the woods. She'll kill us.
She's nowhere near us.
David, quick, turn off the headlights!
Why? Did you hear something?
David, I don't know. I don't know, but I'm just scared.
Guess I should have stopped for gas.
Oh, turn off the headlights, please.
Why?
She'll see us if we don't.
We won't see her if I do.
Please, David, turn them off.
Well, now listen, Dorothy, don't let this silly thing get to the better of you.
Look at the headlights. Poking in the darkness. Nothing but wet bushes and trees. Rain falling. Please, David.
All right. There. Now they're off. Feel better sitting in the dark?
If only the thunder and lightning would stop in this rain.
Look, Dorothy, there's no sense sitting here all night. It's only a few minutes past 10 o'clock. I'm going to walk up the road a bit. There might be a house or something there.
You're not going to leave me here. I won't let you go.
Dorothy, we can't sit here in the middle of nowhere for the rest of the night.
But we're safer here than out there. David, she's probably hiding in the woods. She's just waiting for a chance to kill us.
Come on, Dorothy. Why should she be right where we run out of gas?
Well, why can't she be here? Please stay in the car.
All right.
Just block the doors from the inside.
Why? What is it?
Now she can't get in here.
She's nowhere near us.
Well, don't be mad at me, David. I'm so scared.
Well, if she's out there, she could easily smash the window.
Oh, don't scare me anymore. I know I'm acting silly and I can't help it.
No. Come on. Let me put my arm around you. There.
David.
Now, put your hand on my shoulder.
Forgive me, David. I'm sorry.
Go ahead and cry. Go on. Make you feel better.
Isn't there some popular music?
In the search for the escaped insane woman who has killed 5 persons and is fleeing from a Long Island mental hospital. Rain and darkness are hampering the search. Over 100 police are combing the area near Center Mauritius. It was near there that an elderly couple were butchered on a lonely, tarred road. In making her escape this morning, the madwoman killed a doctor, a nurse, and a...
Let's leave it off for a while.
It's so quiet and lonely here. I wish it were morning.
Look, Dorothy, I'll run up the road. There might be a farm.
No, David, please. David, listen. Did you hear that?
Right. I didn't hear anything.
No, listen. There it is.
No, I can't. It's a dog. A little dog barking.
Oh, David.
I guess it's a lost dog. Or maybe there's a house nearby.
Or the crazy woman. David! David, she's
locked on your side?
Yes, but what if she breaks a window? She's got a cleaver!
In that flash of light, I saw something.
Is that the crazy woman?
I can't tell. She's lying on the road.
Can you see her? Is she still there?
It's too dark to see. Have to wait for the lightning. I saw her. She's getting up now.
Oh my God, she'll kill us! She'll kill us!
Calm down, please.
What is she doing?
I don't know. She must have been running. She didn't see the car and ran right into it.
She's right at the window! She's right next to you!
Oh my Lord, look at her. Get away from that window.
Dicker, she's trying to get in the car!
Look at her face and her hair. Go away.
Let me in! I'm not crazy! The crazy woman is after me!
David, don't let her in!
Let me in!
Maybe we can scare her.
Let me in!
Go away. Go away. We've got a gun. And we'll shoot.
It worked. She's staring at us.
I'm warning you. I'll shoot.
David, she's coming back!
Please! Don't leave me out here, please! That woman will kill me, please!
David, take your pipe. Hold it like a gun. It'll look like a gun.
Where is it? In the glove compartment.
Here it is.
Look. I've got a gun. I'm gonna shoot.
She's backing away.
Keep going. Before I start shooting.
David, she's gone. She disappeared.
We can't get out now. All we can do is sit here all night, wait for help.
Can you see her? Where'd she go?
I don't know. She's out there though, probably planning on how to get into this car.
David, what are we going to do? She's the one, I know.
She didn't have a cleaver.
She must have dropped it when she ran into the car. Her face was all twisted and her hair was hanging down.
She's back there looking for the cleaver now.
She'll kill us. She'll kill us.
Stop.
She'll kill us.
Autolite is bringing you Mr. Cary Grant with Kathy Lewis and Jeanette Nolan in On a Country Road. Tonight's production in radio's outstanding theater of thrills, Suspense.
Hey, Wilcox, what was your platform?
Why, the Autolite stateful battery. The battery that only needs water 3 times a year in normal use.
Go on, Wilcox.
Well, we pointed out that the Autolite stateful has 3 times the liquid reserves of batteries without stateful features.
Amazing.
Ah, but that's not all, Senator, because we pointed out, too, that the Autolite stateful gives longer life. 70% longer life, in fact, as proved by tests conducted according to the SAE minimum life cycle standards.
Well,
Then there's fiberglass retaining mass, protecting every positive plate to prevent shedding and flaking, and to give the Autolite stateful scintillating superiority.
how is your plurality, Wilcox?
Sensational, Senator. We got all but 1 vote.
Why, that's positively preposterous.
Sure is, Senator, because everybody's heard of the Autolite stateful battery, the battery that needs water only 3 times a year in normal car use. So see your neighborhood Autolite battery dealer, and remember, you're always right with Autolite.
And now, Autolite brings back to our Hollywood soundstage Mr. Cary Grant in Elliot Lewis's production of On a Country Road, a tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
David, the window! David, she broke the window!
Get away from here. Stay out of the car.
I'm coming in!
Don't stay out of the car.
Stand out here!
I've got a gun.
You wouldn't shoot me!
Go away, you're crazy! We know all about you!
I'm not the crazy woman! Believe me! Let me in!
Don't do it, David. She's trying to trick us.
Listen to me.
and maybe she's just scared and exhausted.
Please let me in!
No, David, no. She's the one I know.
Lazy woman had a cleaver. I'm not armed. 3 of us would be safer together.
You know, she makes sense to me, Dorothy. We would be safer with one more person.
Oh, David, I don't know.
Let me in. Please. I'm wet to the skin.
I'm going to unlock the door, Dorothy.
David?
Oh.
All right, now get in. Make one more move and then I'll shoot.
Oh. 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 Oh, goodness. Sit down and...
All right, now let's blanket down on the floor back there. Try to dry yourself off.
The darkness and the rain, and it was enough to drive me out of my mind.
Just take it easy, lady.
I ran. I could hear feet chasing after me, hunting me.
You live near here?
Farther out, near Rescue. I used to live in Brooklyn.
Rescue is the mental hospital.
I know. I'm used to the crazy people. But not at night in a lonely place like this. Not the kind who kills people.
You live at Rescue?
No, just near there.
David, we can't sit here not knowing. If we could get to a phone.
A phone? Why?
To call the police, to get some help.
No, don't do that.
Why not? Why don't you want the police?
Oh, I do. But you'll be killed.
What do you mean?
The woman. She'll kill him before he goes away from this car. Oh,
There's that dog.
you hear it? Somebody's out there.
Oh, there must be a house up ahead. Maybe it's barking to be let in.
No, it senses somebody. There's somebody out there.
The crazy woman's creeping around out there. Quick, let's get away.
Look out, David!
Let go of me. What are you trying to do?
Stop the car, quick. We'll get away.
We're out of gas.
Out of gas?
You don't think we park out here for the fun of it, do you?
Oh, such a desperate place to run out of gas.
It stopped barking.
What does it mean? You can't just sit here. We've got to get away.
I'm not a magician, lady. I can't make gasoline out of rain.
Oh, we can't stay here the whole night. Do you hear me?
Let go of me. There's nothing I can do.
Try something. Anything. Don't just sit there.
She's scaring me, David. Stop her!
Cut it out. Cut it out. You'll have us all in hysterics.
All right. Oh, all right. I'm sorry. Look, I got an idea. Give me your gun.
What for?
What for? I'll tell you I want it. Give it to me.
David?
Listen to me. I'm all right, but I can't just sit here all night. I'd go crazy. Give me the gun. I'll go. I won't be afraid of the dark. The noises, the feet following me, I'll go. I promise you. Now give me the gun.
No. Now sit down.
Please. I'll go. I promise. I can't stand sitting in the dark like this.
Can't you stop her,
I
David?
told you to shut up.
No.
If you don't, you'll have to get out of the car.
No, not in the woods again. Oh, you're nice people, aren't you? Or do you want me to leave so you can shoot me? Is that it?
We're not going to shoot you. We don't have a gun. It's only a pipe.
Dorothy.
A pipe? A smoking pipe?
Yes. I'm sorry.
Then you're unarmed.
I'm sorry.
Yes. It's all right.
Why'd you tell me you had a gun?
What difference would it make to you whether I'm armed or not?
I don't know you. Maybe you two are more dangerous than the crazy woman.
Well, I'll tell you what I think. I think you're the crazy woman. The way you grabbed David when you wanted him to start the car.
Dorothy, stop it. Don't excite her.
Don't excite me! Why? Do you think I'm dangerous? An old woman you took into your car? 2 of you and you're afraid of me?
We're not afraid of you. Sit back in your seat and don't try anything.
David, the storm is stopping. Maybe now is the time.
The time for what? What are you going to do? You two are up to something.
Shut up! My wife meant now was the time to go for help.
I did not. I meant now is the time for us to escape. David, can't you see it? She's the one. She's going to kill us.
You let her.
Stop it. Now sit back in that seat.
You haven't got a gun.
No. But I've got a knife.
David!
It's my jackknife. But it's sharp and strong, so don't try any tricks.
All right. Threaten me. Watch me while that woman is out there. All you can do is sit and wait for her to make the next move.
David, she can kill us like that old man and woman must have been on this same road. They were in their car too. They must have let her in.
We'll leave them. The three of us. We'll walk. We'll stay close together. We'll be quiet. Anyone hiding in the woods won't hear us.
Don't get out of the car, David.
How will we find our way? It's too dark.
We'll find our way.
Look out there. The road's full of shadows.
Would you just get her out of the car, David? She wants to kill us.
Kill you?
Now look, if you want to go, why don't you leave? We're going to stay here until some help arrives.
Oh, I'd be helpless alone. If I had a gun or something. Your knife.
Why doesn't somebody just come? Where are the police? I can't stand this.
Nobody'll come. There's no one in these woods. They're burned out and deserted.
Stop. Come on, see.
It was your idea to use this road.
I know.
You wouldn't listen to me and stop for gas.
Couldn't help it. I got lost.
Why don't you just do something? Not just sit here waiting. Do something before we're murdered. Why are you so helpless?
All right. I am going to do something. I'll go for help.
That's it. Get help.
David! David, in her hand I saw it in the moonlight. It glittered.
What is it?
Your wife is hysterical.
She's holding it. Long piece of broken glass. It's long and pointed. You see it? See, she doesn't answer. She's just watching us. What is she waiting for?
It's from the broken window. That's where she got it.
So what if I have it? I'm not going to sit here defenseless.
She's going to attack us.
Don't be silly. It was all right for you to have a knife. Why can't I be armed for whatever may come?
Give me that broken glass.
Give it to you? You think I'm crazy? You couldn't protect us from anything.
Oh?
David, what are you doing?
Why are you climbing over the seat? What are you...
I warned you. I'm through with my wife being terrified. Give me that glass.
Stay away from me!
Once I left the car, you're going to torture my wife with that broken glass.
Oh! David, no! David!
Give me that glass.
You're crazy! Leave me alone!
Hold her, David, hold her. Don't let her free.
She's strong. She's got my arm.
You killed me!
That glass.
Have you all gone crazy? You're trying to kill me?
Thought you were going to murder us, huh?
No, I wasn't.
David, don't let her get free.
Can't hold her. She's strong.
If you have a knife, then I'll have glass.
Hold her, David. David, hold her.
Not much longer.
I'm not crazy. Please, believe me.
She's got my throat.
No.
She's choking me.
The knife, David. Your knife.
Ah!
David. David, you killed her. David, you killed her.
I couldn't help it. I didn't
Oh,
mean to.
you're covered with blood.
She was going to kill us. There's some lights coming. A car, and it's coming. Help's coming.
Hey there! You in the car! Why are you parked here?
It's the police. At last.
We ran out of gas. The crazy woman.
Let a net run out of gas, huh? You couldn't have picked a better spot. What with that woman running around loose?
Officer, we wanted to tell you.
Farmer up the road called, says his dog's been barking at something.
We caught her.
Huh? Who'd you catch?
The crazy woman. She's in the back seat. Dead.
What? Huh? No, she's alive. Hurt bad, though.
Well, she was trying to kill us.
Well, we'll get her to a hospital. You two better come with me. We captured that crazy woman a half hour ago. I don't know who this lady is.
Suspense.
stay full battery. The voters elected all of the 400 products made by Autolite for cars, trucks, planes, and boats in 28 plants coast to coast. These include complete electrical systems used as original factory equipment on many leading makes of America's finest cars. Generators, coils, distributors, voltage regulators, electric windshield wipers, wire and cable, starting motors, all engineered to fit perfectly together, work together perfectly because they're a perfect team. So friends, don't accept electrical parts proposed to be as good. Ask for and insist on Autolife original factory parts at your neighborhood service station, car dealer, garage, or repair shop. Remember, you're all right with Autolife.
Next week on Suspense, for your Thanksgiving holiday listening, Mr. Ozzie Nelson and Miss Harriet Hilliard, stars of Going, Going, Gone. And in the weeks to come, you will hear such famous stars as Van Heflin, Alan Ladd, and Cornell Wilde, all appearing in tales well calculated to keep you in suspense. Suspense is produced and directed by Elliot Lewis, with music composed by Lucian Morowak and conducted by Lud Lukin. On a Country Road was written for Suspense by Walter Bizarre. And remember, next week on Suspense, Ozzie Nelson and Harriet Hilliard in Going, Going, Gone.
Thank you all for joining us on another thrilling episode of those thrilling days of yesteryear. And we hope that you've enjoyed our lovely ride with us. But the next time as you're leaving home, you might want to check the back seat of your car first. So please mark your calendars for our next upcoming dates. If you like this show, and we hope you did, please come back and join us next month, October 23rd. That's Sunday at 2 o'clock right here at the Oak Park Arms, where we'll be performing the Canadian Broadcast Company production of Bram Stoker's Dracula. It is the entire original novel brought into sound and music and everything for your radio pleasure. So please join us then. If you have any questions and you want to check out our archive list or upcoming shows, you can always check out our website at ttdyradio.com. And now for the cast of those thrilling days of yesteryear, our suspense announcers and our newscasters and the cop, Steve Schroeder. Joe Harlow Wilcox, Don Giggle. Lovely wife Ellie was played by Amy Kennedy. The Senator and the cop, John Gould. And our Cary Grant Bill, also playing the Cary Grant role of David, John Corona. And his lovely wife Dorothy was played by Pam Turlow. Our lovely gas station restaurant attendant Miranda was played by Julie Rogers Baker. And the crazy lady, Joy Kenyon. And the Washington radio show would be complete without the incredible sound effects of Julie Rogers Baker and Joy Kenyon. To the synchronous sound effect styling, or the synchronous musical stylings of Bob Marine on piano. Once again, please join us back on October 23rd. We'll be raising money for a whole other charity, and with your help, we'll be able to really make some great impact in the community. Just October 23rd, Sunday at 2 o'clock, right here for Dracula. And once again, thank you, the audience, for helping our show to come alive, and for living those thrilling days of yesteryear so that we could bring them back